Gratitude is a powerful emotion, and it can have a powerful impact on the way we live our lives. Gratitude is appreciating and gaining perspective for what you have. And when you spend time looking around to be grateful for seeing the sky or even just waking up that day, starting your day with gratitude helps reframe how you interact with your day and the challenges you face. On today's show, Michael Weinberger joins me. He's going to talk about the power of gratitude in our lives, especially in the face of overcoming depression or other mental and emotional challenges. That's coming up on today's One Simple Thing podcast.
It's time to build a better business by building a better you. This is One Simple Thing.
Welcome back to the show. Grateful to start off another great batch of programs with my guest, Michael Weinberger. He is a software engineer, speaker, and mindfulness expert. And through his own struggles with mental illness, he has developed a strategy to overcome and has packaged that strategy into an app that he calls A Plan for Living. It's available on iPhone and Android for free. You can click on the link at onesimplething.online.com to get your copy of the app called A Plan for Living. Michael, thank you for being with me today on the One Simple Thing podcast.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this, and we've talked about mindfulness and the whole idea of kind of connecting our stress level and our physical well-being and our mental well-being as well. But you kind of have unique experiences that have led you to this point. It might be able to give us a new perspective on this. Can we start just by you kind of telling your story, the brief version of where you've been and how you've gotten to where you are now?
Sure. Back in 1994, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder approximately 22 years ago. So I've been dealing with a mental illness diagnosis for the majority of my life, and it has influenced every interaction, relationship, and outcome I've ever had. And kind of as a result of my diagnosis, I've dealt with addiction issues, impulse control issues, mania, depression. And kind of as a result of that, I've been in therapy for probably 30 years and, finally found kind of the right combination of treatment modalities, whether it, be cognitive behavioral therapy or mindfulness or 12-step recovery. And that's kind of how it's got me to draw some of the conclusions I draw today.
Are you, and I hope I'm not prying here, but are you also using medication to help kind of level things out?
Absolutely. Yeah. I believe that there's a medicinal and non-medicinal aspect to the treatment of bipolar disorder. I think that it is a chronic illness, but I feel as though symptom management does come in two forms. Medications kind of help me keep the rails on. The coping skills keep me moving forward and kind of returning from, highs and lows.
Yeah, it's kind of like diabetes, right? So you can use medication to control the chemical imbalance in your body, but if you go, still eating a gallon of ice cream every day, you're still going to have trouble with it, right? You gotta have behavior that works alongside whatever treatments you're using.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Makes a lot of sense. So tell us about your plan for living. This is something you've developed, and we'll get into more of this later, but I just kind of want to get an idea of what you've happened upon and how it can help others.
Sure. I developed an app. It's called A Plan for Living. It's based on what I've developed is the happiness formula. And I believe that the happiness formula is gratitude plus spirituality plus mindfulness creates awareness, and awareness ultimately creates happiness.
Can we just, and I wanted to get into that a little bit, the happiness. And by the way, the app, let me just jump back. The app is now, it was just a web app, but now it's available in the app stores too for Google and for iOS, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so make sure you check that out. We have a link on our website, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. So the happiness formula, gratitude, spirituality, and mindfulness. Can we just kind of get the 30,000-foot view of how all of those fit together to bring awareness and happiness into our lives?
Gratitude at the 30,000-foot level is appreciating and gaining perspective for what you have. And so when you spend time looking around and being grateful for seeing the sky or just waking up that day, starting with gratitude kind of helps reframe how you interact with your day.
And then we're going to get into spirituality and mindfulness here in the next couple of episodes. But let's just get a brief kind of summary. Spirituality, what are we looking at in our lives where that's concerned?
Spirituality, I define spirituality as anything that occurs in the universe that you can't possibly explain or understand, right? So there's things that are continually happening around us, and we don't know why or how they happen. And they happen for a reason. And spirituality is kind of me reaching out to the universe and allowing the universe to take care of my problems. Gotcha. And take care of the things I have no control over.
And like I said, we'll talk about that more in the next episode. And then the last element of your happiness formula is mindfulness.
Absolutely. And so mindfulness is connecting my thoughts and my feelings and my body and bringing me into the present moment. So literally it's as simple as slowing your mind down and being able to be present.
Looking forward to exploring both of those in the upcoming episodes here. Is the order important? I notice it starts with gratitude. Is that kind of where it all begins?
So the order, I've juggled the order as I've used it. I've settled on gratitude and then spirituality for a simple fact. I like to always raise my spirits initially, and gratitude does that for me. So before I begin releasing things into the universe, I like to just, where am I right now and what do I have? Right? Because if I don't find a grateful place, I start to pray for things I already have, right? I start to ask the universe for things I have, like, oh man, if I only had a job. And I find out, well, I'm grateful I have a job. And so that's why I like to do gratitude first.
Yeah. So, and sometimes we forget, right? We get so focused on the things we don't have that we forget to focus. We forget to be grateful for what we do have.
That's exactly right.
Does gratitude, I think about it in terms of like my life, and I think about the times in my life when I've gone through hard times, right? I've learned lessons during those times. Nobody ever tells stories about the fun times too much. It's always when we look back, it's those hard times we went through, or the times when something bad happened to us, right? We go back and we remember what we learned during those times. So we spend our whole lives kind of avoiding those, but truly we should be grateful for them, shouldn't we?
That's right. I mean, I think that as you kind of truly get in touch with yourself and start to realize what really makes you operate, you can become grateful for the negatives in your life. And if I may give a simple example, I grew up in a house with a verbally and emotionally abusive father. I've been expelled from colleges and I've gotten divorced. And my father, my ex-wife, and my colleges are all on my gratitude list virtually daily, right? Because my father gave me the opportunity to teach me how never to treat another human being. Right? And my ex-wife taught me how to truly be in a better marriage. Yeah. Right? Unfortunately, it didn't help that marriage, but it wasn't meant to be, right? That's the spiritual aspect of my life. The grateful aspect of my life is I had an opportunity to start over.
Yeah. So you look at these negative experiences, reframe them. And I know something you say is that it's less about what happens to you and the more about how you react to the things that happen to you, right?
That's right. The happiness formula, people don't realize that good feelings pass as quickly as bad feelings, or vice versa, right? People believe that bad feelings last forever and good feelings exist in a vacuum and happen for a moment.
Yeah.
And the reality is when you practice gratitude and spirituality and mindfulness, you're actually able to identify when you're in a bad feeling and let go of it, right? So you can come out in a happier, better place.
So how do we do that? And we always get down to one simple thing for each day's program. So what's our one simple thing and how can we put it into practice?
Great. So for gratitude, our one simple thing is starting with a gratitude list. Within the app, A Plan for Living, that I built, the first question it asks is, how happy are you? And the second piece is create a gratitude list. That's my one simple action for gratitude.
How many items need to be on our gratitude list? Should we just keep a running list that ends up becoming pages and pages worth of stuff? Or?
So, I have a target of 10 items a day. And when I first started using the app and I started becoming comfortable with writing down my gratitudes, I struggled with 3 or 4 items. And as I became more comfortable with the concept, I sit down in the morning, I use the app for approximately 2 minutes, and I create between 20 and 30 gratitudes before moving on.
So every day you create a new list, then, is what you're saying, right? So it could be things that carry over from day to day, but there are going to be maybe specific things that happen to us in the last 24 hours that kind of spark some gratitude as well.
That's exactly right. And so for me, when I wake up, it's kind of like, are we grateful that we woke up every day? Yes. And are we grateful in many instances that yesterday's over? Right? Because inevitably something didn't happen exactly as planned yesterday, and we get to try again, right? That's what the gratitude list is all about.
Do you look at maybe negative experiences that happened to you in the last 24 hours and try to zero in on those and find something to be grateful for, just like you mentioned a few minutes ago about your father and your ex-wife, et cetera?
So I do, but I'm more focused on the positives, right? For me, the negatives fall under the spirituality aspect of my my application.
Okay.
Right? The gratitude is, for me, and I could do it real quick, I wake up, I'm grateful for an amazing wife, I'm grateful for my second marriage, I'm grateful for second chances, for my healthy kids, for landing on my feet, for having a business, for having sustained weight loss right now, for having a diagnosis of bipolar disorder, for my friends, for my family. Yeah, it's that quick to create 10 items.
Yeah. And it's a new list every day. And the app, and you could do this in a notebook or whatever, but the app gives you a place where you can kind of do that. Does it also allow you to track your gratitude list from day to day?
That's right. Not only does it allow you to track your gratitude list, it also allows you to track your happiness.
Great.
And so what I find is when I wake up in the morning, I report a happiness level, and I then do my gratitude list and then my spirituality list. And then I look and I find that, hey, my happiness level's increased. And so now through fairly extensive reporting, I'm able to see trends. And I've had end users tell me the more grateful they are, the happier they are.
Wow.
It's kind of proven through the use of the app.
That is so cool. Well, we're going to tell everybody about the app here in a second. It's called A Plan for Living. It's available in the app stores. So, Michael, thank you for talking to us about gratitude today. On the next episode, spirituality, and I'm looking forward to that topic as well. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Dave.
Michael Weinberger, my guest today. His app is called A Plan for Living. It's available on both iPhone and Android phones, and you could download it for free. There are some paid features within the app, but the bulk of what you can do with the app is for free if you'll download it today. There's a link on our website. You can click on the banner ad. It'll take you to their website, and then links out from there to either the iTunes or the Android stores. So just click on the banner ad for A Plan for Living when you go to onesimplething.online.com. Hey, I was just looking at our iTunes account yesterday, and I realized that it's been like a month or better since anybody's left us a rating and review. We're stuck at 122 right now. 5-star ratings. Appreciate that. All of you that have left a rating and review. I just can't tell you how grateful I am. Could we get it up to 125 by the end of the week? Are there 3 people listening to this show today that perhaps would leave us a rating and review on iTunes? Simple way to do it. Just go to our website, click on Support the Show at onesimplething.online.com. Got a page there with links on it that'll take you to iTunes so you can leave your rating and review. Again, just go to Support the Show. It's in the menu at onesimplething.online.com. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Dave Kirby with you here, and I'll join you again next time as we once again talk with Michael Weinberger here on the One Simple Thing podcast.